giving your judges just a second to get everything in order. Move forward.
So we're 5206. I want to make sure you're going.
Okay, counsel, we ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can we do introductions quickly, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. My name is Emberlyn St. Hilaire. Today I'm joined by my co-counsels, Mr. Max Newsom
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
and Mr. Zach Neff.
Good afternoon.
Together we represent the plaintiff in today's case, Mr. Eli Bully.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Hannah Moore. I'm joined by my colleagues who will now introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Zainab Said.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Hannah Lang.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Lydia Ferris.
Together we represent the defendant in today's trial, Ms. Tristan Nichols.
Any pretrial stuff we need to take up, or can we jump right in?
Couple of pretrial matters, Your Honor.
Please.
Could I draw your attention to two stipulations? First, stipulation 8 states that for the testimony of Gail Melke today, all relevant and 403 objections are waived.
That agreed?
Yes, Your Honor, we'd just like to note that it's the same for the testimony of Ms. Ash Sanders.
Again, agreed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else?
Yes, stipulation 11 states that parties may agree that no callable witness's gender or sexual orientation would preclude that callable witness from engaging in a relationship with another callable witness.
Understood. Also agreed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else?
Last, Your Honor, we'd just like to note that Exhibit 1 and 2, a prenuptial agreement as well as a financial disclosure sheet, are pre-admitted today and can be used during opening statement.
Understood. Also agreed?
Yes, Your Honor.
With that, we're set.
Thank you. Defense, any pretrial?
Yes, Your Honor, we'd just like to note that Judge Maya Buckley has already ruled on the 702 admissibility of expert testimony in today's trial. The testimony of both Ms. Meyer and Ms. Martin and all the conclusions contained within their report have already met the 702 foundation, and 702 objections are waived.
Also agreed by defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Anything further?
No, Your Honor, the defense is ready to proceed into opening statements.
Plaintiff's opening, please.
May I proceed?
Please.
The defendant's love turned into lies. It's New Year's Eve 2025. And the defendant, Tristan Nichols, well, she's feeling like the queen of the world. You see, she's at the Amore Hotel. She's preparing for the New Year's Eve party her and her multi-billion-dollar company are hosting. You see, on the roof, waiters are pouring champagne. Her staff are getting fireworks ready. Her personal assistant, well, she's calling up that private jet to take her away once the night's over. But in her arms, in the privacy of a hotel room, well, this defendant, she's holding the woman she's dying to kiss at midnight. But you're going to learn that that woman, well, she's not the person she promised to have and to hold till death do them part. It's not her husband of 4 years. No, it's her lover. One of her ex-girlfriends. Her mistress. You're going to learn that when Mr. Bully, her husband, the plaintiff, finds out about this, he files for divorce. But then he learns, well, that's not the only secret his wife has been keeping from him. She's been hiding $40 million too. These lies. That's why we're suing the defendant, Tristan Nichols, today. Now, you're going to learn that before these two got married, well, they met. They disclosed all their finances, and they signed what's called a prenuptial agreement. You see, what was supposed to happen if they ever got divorced was they would leave the marriage only with the assets they came in with. But this agreement, well, it had two conditions. First, both parties had to be truthful when disclosing their assets, and second, well, there was an infidelity clause. No one could cheat. If either one of those conditions was broken, the prenup's invalid. Today we have the burden to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that it's more likely than not that this defendant broke those promises, that she cheated on her husband, that she lied about her finances, that her love turned into lies. We're going to meet that burden. And we're going to meet it by asking you to focus on this defendant's two lies: the affair and the finance. So let's start with that first lie, the affair. Now, today we're going to call to the witness stand the woman the defendant was cheating on her husband with, Gail Melky. She's going to tell you her and the defendant used to date. They grew up together. But then the defendant left her, said she was in love with Mr. Bully. But then a few years into that marriage, well, Mr. Bully's love wasn't enough for this defendant. She cheated on him and lied. So that brings us to our second lie, the finances. Now, we're going to call a financial expert to the stand. And she's going to tell you that a prenuptial agreement, well, it can't be valid if either party lied about their finances before signing. Because, well, you can't make a fair agreement if you're dealing in the dark. You're going to learn this defendant hid $40 million in offshore accounts before signing that agreement. Here's the job. Today we expect the defense is going to get up here and say that the marriage between Mr. Bully and the defendant, well, it wasn't real. That it was something called a contract relationship meant to boost wealth, status. That's not true. They're not going to show you a written agreement that says that. No, the only way they're going to convince you of that is by calling to this witness stand Mr. Bully's ex-best friend, a woman who's been in love with him, a woman who's been jealous of his marriage since the day it started. Don't trust her. When this defendant's love turned into lies, well, Mr. Bully lost everything. That's why we're going to ask you to find in favor of the plaintiff today. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can I say for all counsel, you are free to use the well, but please watch the wires.
Good now?
Close there, sorry.
We'll do my best. This marriage? It wasn't real. See, the plaintiff, they just got up here and painted you a pretty complicated picture of some love affair, some three-way triangle. The story's a lot simpler than that. See, Mr. Bully and Miss Nichols, they didn't get married for love. They got married because it was an arrangement. It was convenient. This marriage was never real. Because members of the jury, what the plaintiff is never going to be able to show you throughout this trial, and what the evidence will point towards, is that in those 5 years where the two people were married, there's not a single "I love you" text. How in those 5 years between those two couples, when they were supposedly married for love, there's no pictures of them on vacation, no private pictures of them at home. No one's ever seen them kiss. See, when the plaintiff ripped up this document in front of all of you today, and what you will learn is that what's on the line for the plaintiff, $3 billion. That's on the line. But members of the jury, this marriage, it wasn't real. That's why we've taken on an affirmative defense in this case, to prove to you today that this was a contract marriage, marriage, it's a pretty simple thing. It's when two people get married for reasons other than love, whether it's to benefit their career or some other reason. We had a burden to prove this to you today by a preponderance of the evidence, that it's just more likely than not to be true. And we met that burden. We're going to do that with 2 facts. First fact is that this marriage, it started as a contract. And it stayed that way. Let's take those one by one. This marriage, it started as a contract. Today, we're going to be calling the plaintiff's closest friend, Miss Sanders. Miss Sanders, she's going to tell you that when the plaintiff came forward about this marriage, she knew it wasn't about love. She didn't want it to be about love. She wanted this to help her career. Because being married to a person with $6 billion, well, that's going to help their art career skyrocket. Brings me to my second fact. We're going to be calling an expert witness to the stand, Miss Meyer. Miss Meyer, she's going to be responding to the plaintiff's expert witness, and I want you to listen closely, because members of the jury, they tried to tell you that $40 million was being hidden. You're going to learn that when there's $3 billion on the line, that's only 1% of someone's assets. You're going to learn from this expert that these conclusions, they were premature. That it doesn't make sense for someone to be hiding $40 million when it's just 1%. You're going to learn that there's other reasons. And the biggest one of all is that Miss Nichols doesn't own those assets. So she didn't need to disclose them. And look, members of the jury, I get it. There's other reasons to marry people outside of love. We're not here to make a judgment on that. But members of the jury, when the plaintiff comes and tries to sell you a story, tries to tell you that the lie was love, they have to prove it to you. Because the only lie that you're going to learn is that this marriage was about love. Because this marriage was never real. That's why we're confident that at the end of this trial, you'll make sure that the prenup is valid. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Counselor. Plaintiff ready to proceed with the first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. This time we called Gail Melky to the stand. May I proceed?
Please.
Good afternoon. Can you please introduce yourself to the members of the jury?
Good afternoon. My name is Gail Melky.
What do you do for a living, ma'am?
I'm an actress.
Ma'am, how'd you get into that?
My sophomore year of high school, they were doing Chicago. I tried out kind of on a whim. Landed Roxy. Fell in love with it, right? Guess it just kind of stuck. I think it was also an excuse to just not be at home.
Why?
Growing up, my family was mostly business. My parents, they own this big beverage group in town, the Melky Group. It's a lot of pressure. You know, I was supposed to take it on, but that's not my path.
Is your family close?
We were, yeah. After my parents split, it just kind of fell apart, right? My mom cheated on my dad, so they couldn't be in the same room. Didn't want to, see each other at my theater performances, so just decided to not come at all. It was hard, yeah.
Name a you familiar with the Nichols family?
Yes. The Nichols family, they own a big food group here. Yeah, and their daughter Tristan and I, we had a relationship.
What kind of relationship?
5 years ago, we started dating, got set up by our parents. It didn't last, right? Then we reconnected a few years later, and yeah, we had an affair.
And let's break those down one by one. When did you first meet?
Our families, they run in the same circle, so I don't know if I ever really met Tristan. We just kind of knew each other. Our parents, they loved the idea of us together, right? Salivated at the thought of a Melky Nichols wedding, the Melky Nichols grandkids. Just Nichols grandkids. My mom hated that hyphenated crap.
And was your relationship real?
What do you mean by real? I don't know.
Were you in love?
Yeah, I loved her. Yeah, when we started dating, yeah. But she told me she didn't feel the same way back then. Yeah, she was just there because our parents set us up. That's what she told me.
Ma'am, how long did this go on for?
A few months, or yeah, a year I think, and then Tristan met Eli.
Okay, well, I'd like to talk more about that relationship between the plaintiff and the defendant. Now, when did those two meet? Do you know?
At a New Year's Eve gala. The Nichols, they always throw these big charity events, and Tristan and I, we went together, right, as a couple. And I don't know, I leave for 5 minutes to go to the bathroom. I come back, and Tristan, she's talking to some server about a painting. I saw the way that she looked at him. She hadn't looked at me like that.
And who was that server?
It was Eli.
What was your relationship with Tristan like after that?
Short. Yeah. She broke up with me. Told me she was in love. Not with me, right? So.
Ma'am, do you know when she started dating Eli?
It was immediately after that. I started seeing photos of them everywhere, right? And Tristan, she was doing these things with Eli that she never did with me.
Like what?
Tristan never wanted a photo. I couldn't even get a selfie out of her. And suddenly, what? She's center spread of a People magazine. She told me she hated art. Now she's at every single one of Eli's gallery openings.
What did you do?
I was hurt. And yeah, I lashed out. I don't know, I wanted revenge, but I just decided to cut off contact.
Ma'am,
It was easier.
my apologies. Ma'am, you mentioned you had an affair with Miss Nichols. When did that start?
Valentine's Day.
And what happened on Valentine's Day?
I was downtown at some play, and I remember I went outside to catch my breath. I just turned over, looked behind me, and she was right there. I was gonna go the other way, run the other direction, but she comes up to me. She hugs me. She'd never hugged me.
What did you do?
I stayed. We started talking. It felt like it was before, all those years back. But it also felt different. New, too.
What do you mean by different, new?
The old Tristan, she was always, looking for an excuse to end our conversation, go talk to someone new. But this time we just kept at it. I don't know, we kept talking, and I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? For her to say that she had to go somewhere, be somewhere, make up some kind of excuse, but it just never happened. So we kept talking.
Did you stay in contact?
Yeah. We did. Every time she called, I picked up. Every time she'd ask me to go on a trip, I'd say yes. Every time she said she felt lonely, I went over. I hated that about myself.
And where would you go?
We went everywhere together. Paris, Prague, Milan. It felt so real. We walked along the Seine, got drinks at the bars, fed each other fondue. I mean, it was the stupid stuff you do when you're in love. It was the stuff I saw my parents do before they got divorced.
How did you feel about this whole thing?
I mean, it was complicated. I was the happiest I had ever been. But I knew what I was doing to their marriage. I mean, I was going through my camera roll, deleting photos, going through my texts, trying to wipe any trace of Tristan. I was the other woman. I knew it. I knew it. And I knew how that felt when my parents had that affair. I promised myself I'd never be her. And there I was, right.
How long did this last?
Lasted for a few months. And then New Year's was when it ended.
What happened that day?
Tristan made me a lot of promises that night. She told me she loved me. Told me she wanted to marry me. She even got down on one knee. I thought we were going to spend the rest of our lives together.
Then what happened?
Then, nothing. Radio silence the next morning. The news of the affair breaks, and I try calling her, nothing. I try texting her, nothing.
And when did you next see her?
I haven't. Still haven't, right?
What did you do?
I came clean to Eli. Told him everything. I never wanted to be that person. But I had to make amends. And I'm here today bearing responsibility for what I did. I'm waiting for Tristan to do the same.
Thank you. No further questions at this time.
Thank you, Counselor. Cross?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Malkin.
Hi, good afternoon.
Ma'am, the last thing you told this jury was that you were here bearing responsibility for what you did. That's not true, is it?
It is. I'm here to talk about the affair.
Ma'am, you're here secretly hoping that this trial is going to jumpstart your acting career.
No, that's not right.
Ma'am, is it your testimony you're not hoping that this trial jumpstarts your acting career?
I'm hoping that by telling the truth today about what happened, that it will become clear and that I can finally have the public know about what really happened. Hopefully my acting career will improve as a result.
Ma'am, I'm looking at your affidavit here. Do you think that you said, I hope that telling the truth jumpstarts your acting career?
Ma'am, in the affidavit, I explained that by explaining what happened to the public, people would understand what really happened between me and Tristan.
I'm secretly hoping this trial will help me get the attention I need to jumpstart my acting career. I hear they're going to be filming the whole thing. Fingers crossed. Those are your words.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, because the truth is, you think of yourself as a pretty fantastic actor, right?
I mean, I try my best. That's why I have the job.
And don't be modest. I'm a pretty fantastic actor. That's what you said.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that you touched your finger to your eyes before you cried. Are you using Vicks Vapor Rub right now?
No. How dare you accuse me of something like that? My whole life is on trial right now. And you're accusing me of what, using Vapo Rub? Are you serious?
Man, you're acting angry about it now. Isn't it your words that you think you're pretty good at convincing and manipulating people?
As an actress, yeah, sure. This is my life right now, ma'am.
So you think that your acting is pretty good at convincing and manipulating people. That's how you would describe it.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm gonna give you one chance to tell the members of the jury the truth. You are making up this affair for attention. Yes or no?
No.
Let's fact check what you said on direct examination, ma'am. It's your theory that in this case, in this months-long affair, well, she'd take you to restaurants, right?
I mean, we'd go out, yes.
Fancy restaurants, right?
Yes.
Which restaurants?
I don't know. Like El Donaggio's?
What was that? Old Menagios, you said?
El Donaggio's, it's an Italian restaurant.
El Donaggio's Italian restaurant. Where is it?
It's nearby.
Address?
746 Hermosa Way.
El Donaggio, 746 Hermosa Way. Ma'am, you made an affidavit in this case, right?
Yes.
You were told in that affidavit to include every detail that could be relevant to this case, right?
Yes.
The case where you're saying that this affair supposedly happened.
Yes.
Ma'am, certainly you'd follow those instructions, true?
Yes.
Ma'am, that white binder in there, can you flip to your affidavit? Actually, I have a copy right here, ma'am. You're on permission to approach.
Please.
Ma'am, this is your affidavit, true?
It looks like it, yes.
Flip to the back, that's your signature.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm gonna give you a highlighter here. Tell me, where in that affidavit do you talk about El Donaggio's at 746 Hermosa Way?
Well, I mean, I say in here that we went on dates. I didn't mention 746 Hermosa Way. I didn't give the address of every place we went to.
Well, hold on, ma'am, because you'd agree if you'd actually given us an address or a restaurant, we could have gone there and checked your story, right?
I'm sorry, I'm confused. You wanted me to include every address of every place we ever went in here?
We'll get there in a second. If you had given us a restaurant, we could have gone there. Yes or no? We've got a whole lot of attorneys from a whole lot of different places.
Yes. I mean, you could have.
Ma'am, you're saying that it's unreasonable for you to include every place that you've been. You didn't include a single place that you've been when you wrote that affidavit.
I explained in here that we went on dates. I explained the different places we went to. I explained that we went to Prague, Milan, Paris. I explained all of that. If you wanted to ask for the flight logs, you could have.
Not my question. When do you mention a single specific restaurant?
I'm sorry I didn't give El Donaggio in here.
You didn't give any specific location.
No.
Ma'am, you're also saying that, well, you and Miss Nichols, well, you would text, right?
Did you need me to highlight anything in here, or can I put this down?
You can put that down. You said you would text, right?
We did.
Right, every time she called, you'd be there. That's what she said.
Yeah, I was there for her.
You don't have those calls.
No, I deleted them.
You don't have those texts.
No.
Ma'am, is it your testimony you deleted all the texts?
I went through and tried to hide our affair as best I could.
Not my question. Did you delete all of the texts between you and Miss Nichols that supposedly are there?
I deleted most of them, yes.
Okay, most of the texts, so some of them still exist, right?
Probably somewhere.
Ma'am, this is what you wrote in your affidavit. You deleted most of them, you left some of them behind, true?
Sure, somewhere.
Where are these supposed texts between you and Miss Nichols during this affair?
I don't have them, I'm sorry.
You don't have them, did these attorneys ask you for them?
I don't think we talked about those texts. I told them that I tried to cover up our affair, that Tristan did the same thing.
Ma'am, you said in your affidavit you only deleted most of the texts. Did these attorneys ask you for the rest, yes or no?
I told them that I hid the affair, and they asked me for them. I said I couldn't be able to find them.
So they did ask you for the texts.
I just wouldn't be able to find them. I deleted most of what we had. Whatever was left, I don't know really where it is.
It's not on your phone?
No, I mean, I deleted most of the text. I don't know really what's left.
Ma'am, I'm not talking about the most that you deleted. I'm talking about the ones that you admit you left behind. Are they on your phone?
I don't know where on my phone they are. I'm sorry.
It's not in the text conversation between you and Miss Nichols?
We communicated on different platforms, different apps. I deleted most of them across most of the platforms. I don't know what's left or where it is.
What platforms?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp?
iPhone.
WhatsApp, iPhone, Messenger? Ma'am, you said you deleted most of them. Where are the rest?
I don't know.
Ma'am, you don't know because they don't exist.
No.
You can't show us a single piece of evidence that you communicated with Miss Nichols during this supposedly months-long affair at all.
I'm sorry, I don't have anything.
Nothing further.
Any redirect?
Briefly, Your
This
Honor.
time?
And when you were making your affidavit, did you talk about what you guys did together?
Yeah, I did. I listed that we went to all these different places, you know, that we went on these dates, yes.
Did you include every single address of every place you've ever been with Tristan Nichols in it?
No.
And that's time.
No further questions.
Do I have time for recross? Like 20 seconds. Ma'am, did you include a single address or a single specific location of where you've been?
No.
Objection asked and answered.
Response, Your Honor?
Do we need a response?
No, Your Honor.
I think you've made your point. Anything further?
No, Your Honor. Nothing further.
He asked that she be excused.
Excuse or step down?
Step down now.
Asking you.
Oh, yes, step down and be excused, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Defense ready to proceed with their witness?
Yes, Your Honor, the defense does Ash Sanders. May I proceed? Good afternoon. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ashley Sanders.
What do you do for a living, Miss Sanders?
I'm a bartender for the Nichols Group. I do their events, travel, that sort of thing. But I really want to be in film, so I do freelance video editing on the side.
How are you involved in today's case?
I got a letter in the mail. Told me I had to be here. I worked for Tristan the last year that she and Eli were married. So
Did anyone help you prepare for this trial?
yeah, when I got that letter, it really freaked me out. They told me I had to prepare an affidavit, and I'd never done that before. So I work for Tristan now. She sat down with me about a week before, told me about the kind of thing that they'd ask, you know, just help make it a little less scary.
Do you know the plaintiff, Mr. Bully?
Yeah,
For how long?
since we were 6. We met that first day in kindergarten. We were the only 2 kids who wanted to stay inside and draw at recess. And when it was over, he gave me the dragon he'd been working on. Ever since then, I mean, we were attached at the hip.
How close would you say you two were over the years?
I can't speak for Eli. But I loved him. I still do. I was never brave enough to say it when we were kids. And even after school, he was my only friend, so I was just grateful that he was around.
Let's talk about Mr. Bully's relationship with Tristan Nichols. Were you there when the two of them met?
Yeah, we had gotten this catering gig, right, for one of the Nichols family galas, and Eli had made some joke about it turning into a Cinderella story where he'd meet Tristan and they'd fall in love. I guess it was less of a joke than I thought, because Eli spilled champagne on somebody, and then Tristan came over, and that was that.
Did Eli ever tell you how he felt about the relationship?
I didn't really want to know. It's hard enough to watch him, you know, with somebody else. And he never could seem to make up his mind. Sometimes he'd come back to me complaining about the date. Sometimes he'd seem happy with how things were going, and I didn't want to give my opinion because I didn't want to push him away.
When did he tell you that the two of them were getting married?
The night that it happened, I was working, so Eli came running into the bar looking so excited, and he said that Tristan had proposed and that he'd said yes.
How did you respond?
I wanted to say congratulations. What came out was, congratulations, I love you, don't marry Tristan. I started talking about how I loved him forever, how I loved how he always stole the croutons out of my salad, and how he was so kind to worms on the sidewalk when we were kids, and I talked about worms in front of the entire bar. But at least I had finally said something.
What did Eli say to you?
He gave me a hug. And he told me that he loved me too, but not like I wanted. And then he left.
What was your relationship with Eli like after that moment?
And when you tell your best friend you love him, it changes things. Eli was busy too now. I mean, he was suddenly on the covers of magazines, and I was still trying to afford rent, groceries, stuff that we used to do together, struggle through together. So we weren't as close. But then in July, he calls me in the middle of the night.
What did he say?
He asked me for help with his prenup. And I laughed at him because I'm the last person in the world who should be looking over a prenup. But I missed him, so I said yes, and I went over, and we were talking, and then he said that the whole marriage was basically a contract anyway. He said that Tristan was getting married so that she could be the CEO of her family's company, and that Eli could pursue his art. I couldn't believe it.
How did you react when he told you?
I know I'm not a millionaire. I know that I can't provide for Eli the way that Tristan can, but I love him. And he knew that. And he was gonna marry somebody else. And I eventually got up the courage to tell him not to do it. But he went ahead with it anyway, and I just couldn't understand why he was choosing something fake when I was right here.
Objection, speculation.
Response?
Yes, Your Honor. Under Rule 701, a witness can lay an opinion rationally based on their perception. And Ms. Sanders has just told us about her long, intimate relationship with Mr. Bully, and she can say that it appeared to be fake to her. She's not asserting this as a fact, just her belief. It's not speculation.
Response?
Your Honor, she didn't say it appeared to be fake. She said it was fake. That's the distinction. That goes beyond her rationally based perception. She's stating it for a fact.
I think that's for the jury to make that determination.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were telling us how you responded to what Eli was saying.
I asked him not to go through with it, but he did anyway.
I want to talk about Eli's behavior after he got married. Did the two of you stay in touch?
Not really. Eli was gone again. And then, about a year after the wedding, I got another call. It was Eli. He wanted to talk about how the marriage wasn't what he expected. And I listened.
You told us that Eli brought up his prenup before he got married. Did he bring it up again after he was married?
Yeah. He called me and he said that he had made the wrong choice, marrying Tristan. He said that if we could find proof that Tristan was cheating, then he'd be able to get out of the marriage. He said that I would be saving him.
Did you help him?
I think it's obvious by now that I could never tell Tristan no.
Why not?
It wasn't easy being friends with Eli. Especially after I knew he didn't feel the way that I felt, but I felt like he knew me better than anyone else in the whole world. I didn't think I'd be able to find that ever again, and I just thought that if I waited long enough, then the person that I knew would come back.
So what did you do to try and help Eli?
I got a job bartending for Tristan. I'd go on all the trips. I would follow him when I could. I dug through her trash. I couldn't find anything.
What did you tell Eli?
Exactly that. That I couldn't find any proof that Tristan was cheating.
And how did he react?
He yelled at me. We hadn't fought like that since we were kids. He said that I was lying, that I must have found evidence, but I just wanted him to have to come crawling back to me. And the worst part about it is that he was right.
What was he right about?
Not about the lying. I would never lie to Eli, but I just wanted things to be like they were. I missed my best friend. I missed the person who I knew Eli was, and now I'm not sure if that person ever existed in the first place.
Thank you, Ms. Sanders. I have no further questions.
Crops?
Your witness.
Ms. Sanders, this is a long room, so please take a moment, compose yourself, take a breath.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Whenever you're ready, I'd just like to ask you a couple more questions about you and my client. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I think I'm okay now.
Okay. It should have been you. Right, Miss Sanders?
That was what I wanted.
It should have been you in a relationship with my client.
Yes.
It should have been you getting engaged.
I had so many dreams.
It should have been you getting married.
Yes.
But it wasn't.
No.
No. It was Tristan Nichols.
Yes.
You were jealous of my client's relationship with Tristan Nichols.
Of course I was.
You were jealous of his engagement to Tristan Nichols.
Yes.
You were jealous of his marriage to Tristan Nichols.
I couldn't believe that he would marry someone he didn't love.
But today gives you a chance to change that.
What do you mean?
Today gives you a chance to break up that marriage.
I'm not here because I want to break up their marriage. I'm here because I have to be.
Today gives you a chance to get back to my client.
I miss him. This is the first time I've seen him in a year.
Let's talk about what you would do for him. I want to walk through what your relationship with my client used to be like. The two of you grew up together, right?
That's right.
In high school, you realized you had a crush.
Yeah.
The crush didn't go away.
No.
You went your own separate ways. You went to a semester of art school. You stayed around here.
Yeah.
But then after a semester, you came back.
Felt like we were always gonna find our way back to each other.
Well, he didn't say he was finding his way back to you, did he?
No.
No, he said it was money trouble.
Yeah.
You helped him with
Right.
the money trouble.
I mean, we both grew up not doing well. I knew what it was like. I wanted to be there for him.
So you helped him.
Yeah.
This was before Tristan Nichols.
Yes.
Fair to say, before Tristan Nichols, my client was struggling financially,
That's alright. We both were.
having trouble keeping the lights on type struggle.
Yeah. It would get really bad.
Ramen for dinner every night type struggle.
When we got dinner, yeah.
But then after he met Tristan Nichols, things changed.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he was going out to fancy dinners.
He didn't have to struggle anymore, and I was happy for him.
He was going to galas, right?
Right.
Courtesy of Tristan Nichols.
That's right.
Now, before my client met Tristan Nichols, you were the one to help him out, right?
I was.
You'd pick up extra shifts to help pay his bills.
whatever I needed.
You'd work overtime to keep the lights on.
Yes,
But afterwards, he wanted to rely on Tristan Nichols.
right,
And you were jealous.
of course.
Now, before Tristan Nichols, my client was working 3 jobs, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Like you said, you and he were in the same boat. He was struggling.
yes,
Now he was going on vacations to Europe, to Asia, wasn't he?
right. It seemed,
Courtesy of Tristan Nichols.
seemed so wonderful. I was happy and I was mad and I didn't understand. I couldn't make sense of any of it.
You couldn't take him to Europe, could you?
No,
You couldn't take him to Asia,
no.
but Tristan Nichols could.
You're hardly take Eli to the corner store.
Now, before Tristan Nichols, my client, he had trouble getting his work published in a gallery, right?
That's right,
They turned him down.
I did.
But after Tristan Nichols, well, all of a sudden his work was center stage.
Yeah, he finally had this amazing platform and I was just glad that the world got to see his art, you know?
You were glad the world got to see his art, but you weren't quite sure what made that change, were you?
It all happened so fast.
You thought maybe Tristan Nichols had something to do with it.
Yeah, and I mean, looking back, it all makes sense now. I mean, Eli said that it was a contract to support his art, and so I guess that was what it was.
So there's a before and an after with my client and Tristan Nichols, isn't there?
There is.
Now, we're in the after, and you've just told us how happy you are for him, right?
I want to be.
It seemed like it was wonderful.
Yeah,
He wasn't struggling,
right.
bills were paid,
Yeah,
taking trips.
exactly.
But you actually prefer things to be the way they used to be for my client.
It's not. It's selfish of me. But I miss when I had someone to struggle with. I miss feeling like somebody understood what I was going through. And so I don't want him to be unhappy, but I miss him.
So that's a yes. You'd prefer for all that happiness, all those wonderful trips, all that money to go away for my client.
Yes.
Because you think, maybe if he loses this trial, he'll lose everything.
Yeah.
That's what you want, isn't it?
I want things to be like they were before.
Not my question. You think maybe if my client loses this trial, he will lose everything.
I mean, I don't know. I think that that's what could happen.
He could lose everything. But you,
Yeah.
that'd be nice, right?
It's awful, but it would be nice to have my friend back.
It'd be just like before.
I just think maybe we were happier then.
You were happier then, weren't you?
I was.
Nothing further.
And redirect?
No, Your Honor, I just have to step at least step, you want to step.
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. We do a 10-minute recess.
Yes, Your Honor.